Hi there, Eric Salama from Kantar, and extremely happy to be here with the ARF.
I'm Mark Rappin, the Chief Marketing Officer for the Advertising Research Foundation. Not from a CAN perspective, but from a larger perspective, there's a lot of talk about big data. We have all these different piles of data. We have first-party data, we have third-party data, but they're all sitting on separate piles, and when I get a question, I know which pile is going to give me the best answer, but I haven't really found a way to integrate all that so that I get competitive advantage from that third party. How are you helping your clients with that?
Well, I think the biggest issue that clients now have is that there's too much data.
Right.
And obviously a lot of the data is going to be contradictory.
Right.
Because it comes from different sources, it's collected in a different way. So you wouldn't expect it to tell the same story.
Right.
And actually I think that has two big implications for us as an industry.
Right.
One is that we obviously need to find platforms in which we can do that integration. But I think it also means that we need to put a lot more emphasis on making sense out of that data.
Right.
And actually, a lot of the real nuggets and insights come from understanding the contradictions in the data.
Oh, that's
it. So generally speaking, you're looking for things that tell you a slightly different story and trying to understand why, as opposed to just it's all flowing in the same direction.
Right.
So
sometimes the picture's too perfect.
Sometimes the picture's too perfect, and you're looking for things at the extremes, not just at the mean.
Right. While our ARF members are global, most of the people that are most interacted with us are US based. So from your global perspective, in the research industry, what would people who have a US-centric point of view be surprised about with a more global perspective?
Well, I think there's a few things. In a lot of countries around the world, mobile has skipped the installed infrastructure. So if you go to parts of Africa, if you go to India, if you go to Indonesia, there was an infrastructure and mobile's just skipped ahead of it.
Right.
So actually they haven't got a lot of legacy stuff, and the use of mobile is much more prevalent than it is in the US for payments, for a whole bunch of things that we don't think about. So I would urge all of your US viewers not to think of the US as the most advanced country in the world,
right,
even when it comes to things like mobile.
So I'm going to switch gears here, and I don't want to get political, but...
I'm always happy to get political.
But in November, the ARF West Conference this year will be kind of a year after the election in the US. What are the surprises and wins from a data collection standpoint, from a survey standpoint, from a polling standpoint? What are the takeaways from what's going on in the world?
Well, I have to start by saying that Kantar Public, which is the place where we do all of our governmental
right,
and social research and polling work, has done a magnificent job. I mean, they predicted Brexit.
Okay.
Not just the day before, but a month before, 3 weeks before, a week before. So we got the Brexit result spot on. I think one of the lessons is there's a difference between good quality and poor quality.
Right.
We shouldn't look at survey and polling and tar it with the same brush and say it's all rubbish,
right,
because it's not.
Right.
And we have competitors who do a very good job as well. It's not
right,
just
right,
it's not just us. But it means that you need to pay real attention to the sample, to who you're talking to how you collect it.
Mm-hmm.
So the statistics of it and the science of it is incredibly important.
Yes.
Survey research has still got a massive role to play in our industry. I would say please don't look at very headline results,
right,
and say that means that survey
mm-hmm,
research can't be used to predict.
Right.
It can.
Yeah.
It can explain things, it can help us understand what's going on, it can even help us to predict.
What's going to happen in the industry in the next couple of years? What do you think are the profound changes that are going to affect what we do?
I think that AI will become a bigger and bigger player in our industry,
mm-hmm,
and one of the things that we're all going to have to do is figure out how can we use AI in service of something that we're doing, as opposed to being mesmerized by AI.
Right. Thank you so much for spending time with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.